Swinging a ground ball, stabbed by Folk. He has it. He underhands to first, and the Boston Red Sox are the world champions for the first time in 86 years.
Together they have, and together they stand alone on top of the mountain for now. And once again, the Boston Celtics stand alone for all time. It is banner 18.
No icing. For the first time in 39 years, the Boston Bruins have won the Stanley Cup.
And a title for the Patriots!
I can't believe it!
They have completed the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history.
Good morning, listeners. Welcome into episode 32 of a new Arrow podcast. My name is Hanson, better known as Fryddy Online, and this morning I am joined here by my co-host, my dad, the OG Fryd. Dad, would you like to say hello to the listeners?
Yeah, good morning, listeners. Good morning, all you from across the United States and all those global people that listen to us as well. Thank you, global listeners, now that, hopefully you want to just listen to our take on our New England sports and the end of the Olympics that we so loved watching. I don't know about you, but I mean, yeah, we were watching nonstop, us winning some golds here.
For a second here, I was like, where the fuck is he going with this?
Yeah.
No, I was watching some. I always like the Olympics because it's one of those times where you can just, because it goes on 26th to the 11th. That's like a little over 3 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
It's always, you can just like always put it on and there's always something going on. I mean, I will say though, like it's different than, I'm trying to think of what else. Where was the World Cup at last time? It was overseas, but I can't remember where it was.
Was it not in Germany?
It might have been Germany. You're right. Do they have the same time zone
as France?
I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe.
You know what?
Because it's weird because it's like, I know they got like a 5-hour time difference or something, but like their last games or whatever, like the U.S. men's basketball team, they played technically like their prime time game or whatever in Paris because they started it here at like 3:30.
3:30.
So that starts at 8:30 there, gets done at 10:30. But then after that, like they were done. They're not starting anything after that, which I get.
So, yeah, I'm glad that we're going. For all you that are wondering about behind the scenes, my great producer here, Fryddy, gives us some idea of something to talk about. Maybe some others. I mean, we used to just plan the whole show out when we started, and now that we've gotten so much comfortable into doing this, and again, just like we would have if we were just calling each other up and just talking sports during the week or texting or whatever, we just come up with stuff. So with that being said, we kind of had some idea going into, and now we just, I think, probably start about the Olympics, and just get that out of the way. I was watching Bob Costas. I mean, a legend sportscaster, but he was being interviewed on the NBC. I think it was closer to the end, just filling stuff up. And he said, when it's in America, it's more, it's easier to watch because it's live and we get to see it. And I'm like,
Live everywhere.
It's live everywhere, Bob.
You stupid ass. You think these are fucking just all recorded?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's so crazy. It's obviously it's easier to watch because you're in the time zone, but
you're in the time zone.
Oh my God.
But yet it was cool to, watch stuff at 9, 10. And yes, sure. Yeah, the evening stuff that they put on NBC and USA and whatnot. yes, was recorded, and you might have been able to see what had happened before.
But like, I don't care,
but
dude.
still.
I'm not paying attention to every single sport.
Yes.
So I'm
We're
not
not-
knowing already going into it. Oh, well, US won gold in this. I don't want to watch. Like,
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. Outside of the basketball, women's soccer, which I continue to get like tweet updates and ESPN updates and stuff on. That was for the women's soccer, for the men's basketball, for the women's basketball, and then probably the track stuff. But I watched those, like Noah Lyles and the 200 and the 400. Like, I was gonna watch those anyways.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I like it. It is cool. I don't know. It just made me realize, like, on these Sundays, dude. And I don't know. I've been thinking about this for a while. My whole day yesterday, I didn't really do much. Went out Saturday night, so we kind of recovered a little bit yesterday. But also, I was sitting there and I was just like, man, I need football back so bad on Sundays. I don't know what the hell to do. I was like, at some point yesterday, I was like, you know what? I actually wouldn't mind just being at work tomorrow already. I don't have anything to do on Sundays. I need football back. I need reason for my Sundays.
Yesterday, we even flipped and watched a little bull riding that was going on CBS.
Oh, God, you're going insane.
Yeah. And you know what? None of the major... So CBS didn't even show the Wyndham Championship that's happening over here in
Really?
Winston-Salem. It was on ESPN Plus.
ESPN Plus does give great golf.
They do great golf, yes, but I mean, it's the Wyndham Championship. It wasn't even on. CBS didn't even pick it up. Really crazy.
Yeah, but it's done now. Apparently, I didn't see the closing ceremony. Or that's not today, right?
No, that was last night.
That was last night?
Yeah.
We ended up finishing... China ended up tying us with 40 golds, 44 silvers, 42 bronze. That's crazy. 126 ran away with the medal count. That was easy stuff, though. I'm pretty sure I didn't notice until after because I saw a tweet about it from like DraftKings Sportsbook.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think we were like, hold on, now I'm forgetting. Let me see. I want to make sure I'm right here. Yeah, we were minus 550 to come home with the most Olympic medals, just in total medal count. I should just put everything I own on that. That would have been literally the easiest bet of all time.
Yeah.
Like, when do we never not do this? Could you imagine, like, like, oh wait, these are golds. Okay. Yeah, there's literally countries that go here and they compete. Well, they don't compete in everything. We don't compete in everything either, right?
No, I think we compete in everything. I think we have.
Well, that's true because we have enough people to probably be able to do it. But then there's like freaking, I don't know, Slovakia or something, dude.
British Virgin Islands only.
Yeah, and they come there and they bring, you know, as many people as they can, and they're gone for 3 weeks, and they walk home with 1 bronze medal. I'm sorry, I don't know. USA, you know.
Yeah.
Speaking of USA, Dad.
Yeah.
I had a realization this weekend, and I talked about it. I talked about it on stream on Thursday. And this might be a generational thing between us now, because I know we've had our generational differences and generational takes.
Yes.
So when did we play Serbia? Thursday? Because we played the final Saturday basketball.
Yeah.
All right. Thursday's game against Serbia, when we had that comeback, we're down 15 points in the fourth quarter. And then you saw LeBron James and Steph Curry take over. You saw that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you saw in the final on Saturday a recurring theme of Steph Curry and LeBron James taking over. It's like LeBron played well throughout the whole tournament.
Mm-hmm.
up until before that Serbia game, before the semifinal, I have been hard stuck on Michael Jordan being the greatest basketball player of all time for however long. And then I saw Le Captain America go out there and put it on for the U.S. And you sit there and you're like, damn, man, this guy is like 40 years old doing this to country's best players. And then he takes home the gold. He's the first player in Olympic history to have multiple triple-doubles during the Olympics. And I realized it's been decided. I have waved the white flag on my Jordan take.
Oh, no. Really?
LeBron James, even as a Boston fan, is the greatest basketball player of all time. Of all time. And we could probably go on for a whole hour about this topic if we needed to and give it its own conversation, its own episode. But what I witnessed from him during this run, and I realized this because I saw a TikTok of it after the semifinal game. I think the reason why I've always hated on LeBron is, yes, I'm a Celtics fan. So he was the Cavs and then the Heat and then the Lakers. It's just like, dude, you just fucking suck at picking teams that we're supposed to like. But it is so much easier to recognize the greatness of these players when you finally get to root for them. When they're putting it on for your team, it's so much different. Because you can see these guys and you can see LeBron and Durant and Steph Curry in the NBA, but they're playing your team and you want them to lose then. I don't want you to beat me. I can respect your greatness. You're a really good player, but this team's not beating the Celtics, blah, blah, blah. But when you get to watch them and be rooting for LeBron, you're not rooting against them. It brings it has a whole different meaning. And it's crazy to be able to watch him as a fan then and just realize truly how just legendary and dominant he is, even at age 39.
Okay. I will give you the fact that having the most triple doubles.
No, the only person to have multiple triple doubles.
I think, sure, the gentleman is built so much different at 6'8", wingspan, able to dribble, able to see passes that only a few star athletes can do. And score. But I think though that if and sure the international game is a lot different than the NBA game. But I really wonder if you had LeBron playing with Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and Michael Jordan in that original dream team. How many minutes would he see? And
is that a question, or are you just talking here?
I'm talking, and if you want to hold on,
got to get Bubbles out of there. And he's back.
And I'm back. Yep. I think your sister's headed out to work. Yeah, yes, it's a statement and a question, I guess, to see what you would think. Although, again, generationally, you never saw that team play.
No. And to be fair, even though I've never seen that team play and I never saw Michael, I can only base what I've done or what I know off of, fucking just film and stats. And that's what I've done for so long. And it's always been Michael until I can't deny LeBron's greatness anymore. But that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and we could also say right now that obviously the game of basketball has evolved, that other countries have, great players as well. So he's playing against the best competition that we know at this moment, because the sport has grown overseas and back when we had our amazing team, the competition, I mean, they were winning by 30, 40 points, each and every game, just blowing people out. But wasn't he though part of a team that did not make the gold? And so maybe he needed a better supporting cast, or
What are you? Who are you saying?
LeBron.
The USA has won 5 straight gold medals in basketball.
All right, but he was part of that FIBA or whatever that did not.
But nobody gives a fuck about FIBA. That's the thing. But you can have FIBA and you have these World Cups, and nobody claims, like Germany. If we're going by that, technically Germany is the world champion. Nobody fucking cares about FIBA when it comes to basketball. They call the Olympic champion the world champion for the next 4 years. Nobody gives a shit about FIBA. Just like, quite frankly, nobody gives a shit about soccer in the Olympics, because the World Cup is your world champion for the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you compete in it, but we're not going to call who. I think Spain won it. Like, it's still Argentina until the next one.
Yeah, because Spain had to play Morocco, and Morocco won't be in the World Cup competing.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it. And obviously we, the American men, did not put out our best product, although we did, I think, actually better with the product we had.
Yeah.
Making a quarters. But I guess we're talking about basketball. I'm just going to stay still on the fact that Michael, the reason why I think Michael changed in his the best player, because he changed his game. I don't think LeBron ever really changed his game in his career. He came out just as a monster. No one ever. I mean, sure.
What do you mean? What do you mean? He was
Michael,
one of his best things that has evolved throughout his game has been his 3-point shot. That was always probably the one thing you could pinpoint. And now, same with Michael. Michael just went to the basket, these highlight dunks, and he had evolved and have a better 3-point shooter as he aged. That's the one thing with the two of them, that they were into your big dunks, and as they physical drive to the rim,
right?
Yeah,
and as they aged, they became better shooters, which is almost to the contrary, because you would need your legs and stuff, and you would think that the older you get, and I can attest to that, your legs go.
Well, I would think it makes sense, because it's like these guys came in as, well, I mean, not Michael. I mean, he got cut from his JV team, but then he goes to Carolina and he wins the national championship and comes out, 3rd overall pick. And they came in already to the league, and even when they were playing in college, and they were just so, well, not for LeBron in high school, but right before the league, they were both just so physically dominant already and just big enough that they don't need their shot to get by. You get into the league, and these guys were playing with grown-ass NBA men, but they were big enough and good enough to compete with them already at that level. So I think when you're able to do that and come into the league and hold your own already, you have the ability to sit back and be like, all right, well, let me really hone in on my 3-point shot now, because I know everything else can make it by with these guys.
Yeah.
And then it takes a couple of years, and then it's like, all right, well, now we know he can take them. And then you give him a couple more years. It's like, all right, now we know we trust him taking them. So I think that's just a normal progression. It makes sense. I think our idea of great shooters and how to establish into a great shooter is so clouded now by the fact that we have guys like a Klay Thompson or a Steph Curry that just come in and fucking set the league on fire with shooting, because that's just how the game has developed from 30 years ago now too. So it's almost like we look at guys and it's just like, oh, well, can they shoot? No, fucking write them off. But really, it's just we have shooters that are so great, and are such a great premium, to a team that you really look for ways almost to discredit other players by not shooting 35% from three or something, which is crazy when you think about it. Like, if you technically shoot 30%, 32%, you're better than 60% of the league. You have guys shooting like 40, 42%. Those are amazing three-point shooters. That's unbelievable efficiency.
Which, if you look at that percentage to a baseball, I mean, if you were hitting 4 out
You're
of
hitting
10,
400, you'd be instant MVP.
Yeah.
So I think it is something to do with the game, but it's also, I don't know.
Take that into account. If you were batting 400 the whole year, yes, you'd be instant MVP, whatever. And you're talking that there's a few individuals that are doing that, and yet you don't win the NBA MVP. You're just one of the gang.
Yeah, because three-point shooting isn't the only part of the game.
Right. But there's such a premium right now on three-point shooting. Everyone wants to do it. Victor Yaman, blah, 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 whatever, a 7-footer is doing that. I mean, it's just how the game has evolved. The one thing that I enjoyed so much about this past year over other years leading up to it is that I can finally, and yes, in retrospect, because of the 3-point, but scoring has risen back to the point where when I used to watch it 70s and into the 80s, early 80s, before defense became prominent with like the Pistons and everyone. I mean, scoring was at those, easy numbers of 140 to 120 and all. That I enjoyed a lot more because obviously I loved to see the scoring compared to when we had in the late 80s, 90s, just that defensive clap. And if you scored 98 points, you could win, which...
Yeah, it was like a race to 100.
Yeah. So
it's also like there's the defense is not as good now, but there's also rule changes and stuff and the hand checks and all this stuff that the referee game has evolved, and you're not going to be able to replicate that sort of basketball ever again just because of how the NBA has changed. Now it might be different, FIBA wise, because international basketball still has mostly around the same rules, but the NBA changes every so often, and you're just like, all right, well, this is just new basketball for us then, because it's the only basketball we see.
Yeah. And which, again, I guess is the point that you can never then ultimately say whoever is the all-time best at this sport over that sport, at least in basketball. Well, I guess you could say football too, and even so, with basketball, all these rule changes that have changed each sport that I watched when I grew up compared to what you're watching now.
Yeah.
Or what we're watching now. I mean, watching the women's basketball, the final, which I watched the final fourth quarter. Quite interesting to see some of the fouls that were that we were called, the women were called against, and France wasn't, which I think the refs were definitely trying to make that game a lot closer, if not go to France, in my opinion. And the ladies pulled it out at the end with that. I mean, that was so close that Gabby Williams, if she did not touch that foot on the line, that game would have been tied and going into overtime.
I didn't even see it, so thanks for updating me.
Yeah, she banked in a shot with no time left, but her foot touched the line. Her foot was on the line and made it 67-66.
Wow. All right. Well, you got anything else about the Olympics now that we're done? It's finally over with.
No, just go USA again. I'm
Greatest
glad
country
that
in the world.
greatest country in the world. Obviously, I knew that we were gonna blow away with the number of medals winning that, but
It would have been
so
nice
glad.
to have one more than
One
China
more,
with the gold.
yeah.
It would have been nice.
Yeah.
I think, and we were leading this last week. We were always like 1 or 2 up on them. It must have just been last minute stuff yesterday that they caught up. But
Yeah. I mean, I think they were ahead 3, so I was like, okay, we got the women's. No, I think they were at 40 and we had to catch up. I'm almost certain it was 40-37, and we got obviously then the gold in the soccer, gold in both men's and women's basketball to tie us. But yeah, it would have been a lot better if, maybe we could have beat them in table tennis or something like that.
yeah, true. All right, moving on to the Sox. I won't see the worst week, but this is a bad week.
Mm-hmm.
Won 2 out of 3 against the Royals, and then proceeded to get swept by the Astros at home. To go 2-4 on the week. We were hoping for 4-2. At least we did pick up a game on the Royals, but it won't matter if we just then turn around and lose 3 more to the Astros. So that sucks. We got 2 series this week. You ready for this? Start out today against Texas, tomorrow against Texas, Wednesday against Texas, all of them at home. Then we go on the road to Baltimore Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Full 7 games this week, and we need to make up some ground. I'll say, and it's probably, we're not going to get James Paxton this week, I don't think, because of his injury.
Bless you.
Holy shit, thanks.
Oh.
I came out of nowhere. I'm going to say a 5-2 week because we need it. I'm going to say we sweep the Rangers. No, I'm not. I'm going to say 4-3. We're 2-1 against the Rangers and we go 2-2 against the O's. And I think I'd be okay with that. Going 2-2 against the Orioles, I'd say would be a win for us. And then you can do whatever in that Ranger series. I really want you to win it. I really want you to sweep it. But if you can go 2-2 against the Orioles, I think that keeps you in a good spot.
Yeah, obviously we can't do 500 with this. And playing full 7 games. Fortunately, we don't have to travel that far. We got a 6:10 game on Wednesday, and yet then a 6:35 game on Thursday, but we're just headed down an hour away. Yeah, I'm gonna go 4-3 as well.
We're now 3 games out of the wild card. Mariners jumped up to half a game above us. They're at 2.5. Then there's the Royals. Twins are half a game above them, and then you got the O's in what? And the O's and the Yankees.
Yeah, because aren't they?
Oh, because they're literally tied. Okay, yeah. So that's not going to stay like that. Never mind.
No.
Yeah, I was like, when did they get 4 AL wildcard? Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, need to have a good week. Cannot start slipping around now. I know we're going to lose Paxton, and that's going to be a really bad. I'm seeing all these news things. Could the Red Sox pursue this reunion after James Paxton's injury? This was talking about Rich Hill, but it's a bunch of stuff talking about this is the worst possible time for an injury for the Red Sox. Right after the deadline, too. Right after you thought you just got an addition you needed with James Paxton, and then he goes. However, speaking of additions, I sent you a tweet about this. Our big 3. Marcelo Mayer, Roman Anthony, and Kyle Teal all promoted up to AAA together this weekend.
Yeah.
We are 1 step away, and that might be setting them up for
a September call-up.
I know we were talking about it, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, about when that could be and who could potentially do it. I know I had mentioned, if anybody, I think Kyle Teal. You were saying maybe a Roman Anthony. I know we weren't really talking much about Mayer, but I think that's just because of some of the infield depth that we have and some of the guys already on the roster. But it looks like they got a plan. It looks like they have a plan with the guys. And I'm hoping, this can go one of two ways. I see this as good either way because one, you're making this move to get them into AAA for September call-up, so it means you really are making a full forced effort to make the playoffs now. And maybe you're going to go look for some free agents or something to fill up some of these injury holes and stuff for the rest of the year. And you're going to hope that you can bring these guys up for the playoffs. Or we're going to stick around and we're just going to miss it. But you got these guys that are playing AAA ball for the whole rest of the year. And then once we come into next year, we're going to see 2 out of 3 probably on the opening day roster, potentially all 3.
Out of the 3, yes. I mean, if you look at obviously Kyle Teal, yes. I know we got Danny Jansen, but at least now you can give, put a right-handed bat, put Connor Wong at first, or be a DH or something. Not have that. Oops, what are we gonna do if your catcher gets hurt? If somebody's DHing, although love what Motsy's been doing as the DH lately. I think he looks so much more relaxed as a DH. Mayer, though, as much as I would love to see Roman Anthony as well, I'm David Hamilton has now seemed to take over that shortstop role, but I mean, unless Mayer just heats up and 290, 300 type of hitter in AAA, and then he gets called up and then takes over that shortstop role, I'd almost rather see Hamilton at second than Valdez. I mean, just when you have those two, just that infield, that middle infield is so weak at the bat.
Mm-hmm. No, I like that.
Absolutely, just watching those two up to bat, and you see the stats of 237, and I love how our color commentary and people are like, well, Valdez does have some pop at the bat and 6 home runs, but no, dude, he has that surprise pop when he needs to, but he's not doing.
I mean, dude, it's been like this with Mayer since we drafted him. I mean, he's our blue chip guy. He's our number 1 prospect, our franchise guy. I mean, it's been just a waiting game, and it's been everybody's itching for Mayer until he gets up here. And I think you're right. I think once they bring him up, it'll be Hamilton and Mayer, because you want to put him in the best position too. I mean, we're not going to bring this guy up just to throw him in a shit position, have him go through a really bad first rotation, and then we're going to get into oh no, we got to drop him into AAA, and we're going to go back and forth with this shit. We want to have everything work flawlessly for Mayer whenever the time is. And honestly, like you're saying, yeah, we'd like to see him up more. I'd almost rather see Teal and Anthony up first, as long as it means we're waiting to pull up Mayer until it's absolutely the perfect situation for him.
I agree. I mean, of the 3, it's probably Mayer 1, Teal 2, and Anthony 3, based on what else we have, and the position, how important it is. Yeah, we can't put Mayer up and have him hit 240 in the month of September and lose confidence or something.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think he's got it in him, though. I don't think he could hit 240 if he tried.
Exactly.
I think he's going to hit better. Okay.
But that's absolutely fantastic news to continue to watch their progression. One thing I'm a little worried about, because we talked about injuries, Devers is saying he's, and we've seen it all year, even though he's batting 300 with 25 home runs and 71 RBIs, yeah, he's been hurting.
I think we knew that. I think we knew that.
And for him to go 1-8 with 4 strikeouts over the beginning of the Houston series and still 325. Could you imagine? I mean, and he's playing a grinding position at third base, and his infield his defensive ability has definitely increased. But it would be neat to, I mean, be able to see if he was a full-time DH and just be able to hit what he could.
I've always wanted that, man, and it's something where it's like, I don't think I want to try to see Mayer at third. I think we want to have him at short, but then it's a matter of who. Like, is it a Hamilton? Is it a Valdez? Is it somebody? I would love to have Devers DH. And obviously, yeah, we love Yoshida, and like you said, he's getting his confidence back. But I think when we signed him, it was always a bridge play. This was always a bridge contract for a guy that, maybe he can bring us up like to that level, and just never got there. And so I think in the long-term plan for the Red Sox, it is Devers at a DH spot. And maybe we'll have to find another third baseman, or maybe next year Trevor Story comes back and he can play that third, which I think he'd probably be the most comfortable at it rather than Mayer or some of these other infield guys. But a long-term plan for the Red Sox probably envisions Devers at third, because remember, we've still got him under contract for near like 7 years, 8 years or something. You know,
Devers as a DH, you said,
or as a DH. Sorry, yeah. Because you got him for like 8 years. You know, you got him on a long contract. You don't want him wearing out. He makes a lot of money. You don't want him wearing out at third, getting hurt, and then before we know it, 2 or 3 out of those 8 years are injury years that he's dealing with stuff, and then something's always lingering. You know how it works.
Yeah. And obviously, I think isn't this because his defense has gotten so much better, because he can get to, or believe he can get to balls, and I think he has, but that has been then the problem to get him injured this year, because his defense ability has gotten better.
Yeah. Sorry, I just got a message here I'm looking at. Yeah, for sure. You got anything else about the Sox?
No. Yeah, we're in a upcoming brutal stretch. Brutal
Stretch. But we've known this. We've been looking at this since the All-Star break. We knew this was going to be the defining stretch. And then
August, yep.
And then the one that's really going to have to, be the anchor is the AL East run we have at the end of September. But if we can just make it through here and just pick up some games and get through even this week and be a game and a half out of the wild card, I'd feel a lot better of our chances. We do still have, we are going to have the tiebreaker over the Royals, though.
And the Mariners.
Yeah, we discussed the Mariners last week. Now we have the Royals, too. So we've got it over those two teams that are ahead of us. Astros are going to come into that mix, too.
Well, if the Astros keep on doing what they're doing, I think they'll run away and be that AL West winners.
True. I forgot about that. You have been saying that for a while, so yeah.
We don't have to worry about that. We just got to, just float around the Royals and the Mariners. Those are the teams.
Yep. It'll make for a very interesting playoff run here in these last month and a half of the season. I know the NL wildcard has been crazy to try to keep up with too, but the AL wildcard, people are sleeping on it. It is just as important of a race right now. It really is. All right. Well, the moment that we've all been waiting for. Drake Maye made his quarterback debut as the Bill Belichick-less Patriots beat the Panthers 17-3 Thursday night in their first preseason game. Drake only played one series. Mayo came out and said that was always the plan. The plan was to get him in there for one series. He came in right after Jacoby Brissett played 2 series, I think. Looked pretty good. looked pretty good. I won't lie. Joe Milton did look phenomenal, but he was also playing against plumbers and fucking mailmen. But Drake was out there 2 for 3, 19 yards. Had a couple handoffs in there as well. Had a nice little, I think it was a little screen out to Ramondre on the right side, where it looked like Drake was worrying a little bit, blah, 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 looks over, dumps it off. That's exactly what you want out of a rookie quarterback, to be able to make those fast decisions. I know the biggest thing, everybody was worried about like his footwork and his feet, but he looked very comfortable. He looked very comfortable back there. I also, like we've talked about, I don't know if that's going to be the O-line we see week 1 or week 4 whenever he comes in, but regardless of who does start there, he looked comfortable behind him. What did you think about Drake in the little bit that you saw, and what are you looking forward to when we play, I think, the Eagles on Thursday for our second one for the preseason this week? And what do you want to see out of Drake there?
Well, I must admit, I did not see him because I was out to dinner at the convention and saw more of Bailey Zappi and Milton, and listening to the Carolina broadcast when Joe Milton came in and just heard that roar with the fans with Joe, and unfortunately, yeah, well, again, Carolina broadcast, they didn't say anything about that, but I clearly heard that. I want to see at least, I think what you have to do in week 2 is, again, put Jacoby out a series or 2, and then have Drake go the rest of the first and second quarters. Get more time, see him go from 2 for 3, and hopefully he goes, 11 for 15.
Yeah, I was going to say like 8 for 11 and to 11 for 15 for, 76 yards and a touchdown or something.
Yeah.
I'd almost want him to get into shittier situations this week. Like I want to see how, if you have a bad drive and we got to punt it away, how he takes that mentally and then comes back onto the field and then tries another drive. Because he didn't get that this week. It's only one drive, you fuck up, you're out of there. Got to see how he bounces back. That's going to be a big thing this week, I think.
The positive, and what I saw from Joe Milton, and that you just mentioned that Drake, obviously what I enjoyed, that these guys are looking for their checkdowns, seem to be able to deliver the ball quickly, and not just hold it and then, I'm in trouble and I got to just throw the ball and get a stupid interception or something, which obviously you'd probably see from a rookie quarterback, no matter what your talent is. But I just pulled this up, and and again, I think it's just the media just putting us down as New England sports fans. They're talking about Drake that the coaching staff is making way too many excuses for Drake.
My God, are we starting this already, man?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
it's just,
my Lord.
This whole thing about his struggles, accuracy, and he's going to take his lumps in year 1. Pro defenses tend to pounce on mistakes more than ACC defenses do.
Yeah, no shit. It's the league.
But if and again, I really wish I could have seen it, his one drive. But the kid is still, he only had 2 full seasons at UNC.
Yeah.
But they
we were never expecting him to come in and be a difference changer week 1. We know this is probably a little bit of a project.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
complaining about his accuracy when he only misses 1 throw in his first debut, but
and it says he's uber talented gunslinger, which again, I think that we talked about this a couple weeks ago in Alex Van Pelt's offense, which you definitely saw. The little bit that I saw, obviously the dump offs, running the ball and the West Coast type of offense rather than try and just gunsling it down the field. Which, when you have Drake and Joe Milton that can just unleash the ball. Something I think eventually is going to change in this offense at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if these two guys are your, going to be your quarterbacks for the future, and their arm strength is, more downfield, and I think you've gotten some young wide receivers, which again, that's going to be the problem. Can the receivers, get open? Can they beat a better defender than what they had to in college? Can they get downfield and open and ready for those long balls?
Check this. I just saw this when I was looking through an ESPN article. For all the people complaining about Drake Maye and they're being too cautious, or he's blah, 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 saying all this shit yet. It's like, dude, there's not much to compare here. Top rookie quarterbacks since 2021 and how many snaps they played in their preseason opener. Justin Fields, Mac Jones, 33. J.J. McCarthy, Kenny Pickett, 32. Will Levis, 30. Trey Lance, 29. Anthony Richardson, 29. Michael Penix, 25. Zach Wilson, 22. Kyle Trask, 21. Caleb Williams, 20. Trevor Lawrence, 15. Jaden Daniels, 12. CJ Stroud, 12. Bryce Young, 11. Drake Maye, 7. He saw 7 snaps. Can we not overreact after 7 snaps, guys? Let's wait until this week before we start jumping down his throat about anything. But I don't envision we'll need to, because I think he's going to play just a pretty smart game. It all just depends on how much run we give him.
We got to see a quarter and a half.
Got to see a quarter and a half. All right. Well, then, this will move us into something new here that we're going to do. Me and Dad were talking about this last week. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 more episodes, 4 more Fridays until week 1 of the NFL season. So we thought, let's have a little bit of a competition here almost. Throughout the year, and we've been doing this for countless years, but we'll be picking our winners per year. We use the Run Your Pool app just to pick your picks, and we'd love to have it open to our listeners too if they'd want to compete with us this year. But we're going to go ahead here now, though, and go through all these rosters. You did, I think.
Yeah, I
like 4 games or something. But I also missed like 10 games throughout the year, so I probably shot myself in the foot. All the Thursday night games. I got to be more on top of that this year.
Yeah, you do.
But instead of doing it week to week, which we'll update y'all with throughout the year and keep you up to date with which one of us are doing better, we're going to go ahead for these next 4 weeks, and we're going to predict every single schedule in the NFL. Every single one. We have 4 weeks. We have 8 divisions, so we're going to do 2 divisions a week, and we're going to match up with, the geographical ones. AFC East and NFC East are going to be the ones we start with today. We'll do AFC West, NFC West next week. Week after that, AFC and NFC North, and the week after that, AFC and NFC South. But we're going to go through here, team one by one. Yeah, NFC South's bad.
I know. I'm glad we're doing that the last, because we'll be ready for some college football, and we'll have enough to talk about.
College football. Exactly. So we're not going to go too in depth with these, because if we did, it's going to take 6 hours. So we're just going to run through these schedules together, and give our own record predictions. We're not going to do it, as a group, because we want to see who at the end of the year was closer. Dad, I don't think I told you this in the text, but what we'll do is at the end of the year, then we'll go back on this. I'm going to keep all of our records, and whoever is closer will get 1 point for that team. And then we'll try to see who has the most points out of all the ones, and whoever loses, we have the gentleman's wager on it. Yes. And we'll do it based off of full games. So say like I say 5-12 for the Pats, and you say 8-9 for the Pats, and they end 7-10. You were 1 game away, even though you were 1 over. So you would end up getting the point for them. I feel like we're going to have to come up with some tiebreaker thing, but we'll worry about that when we cross that bridge. So starting off with the AFC East, this is a New England sports podcast, so we will start off with the Patriots, and I don't care if you like it or not because we've already done a record prediction. Yes. Dad, do you have, or I can just go through it here.
8-9.
Well, hold on. Let's go through because you back?
Yeah, it was you that I think I lost.
Oh, it might have been me. All right.
So we're going per game.
We're going per game. Yeah, I'll run through here with the schedules. I'll give you them, and just tell me win or loss. Keep up with your record. All right, and then tell me what it is at the end. I mean, you just said 8-9. It's probably the same, but all right. Patriots, week 1 at Cincinnati, 1:00.
0-1.
Yep, loss. 0-1. Week 2, Seattle at home, 1:00.
This is going to be a big homecoming. We're going to be excited. We're going to win.
I'm right there with you. 1-1. I think the Seahawks are trash this year. Week 3, Thursday night against New York in New York, 8:15 Prime Video.
I would absolutely love to see a win, but we're going to lose.
Yep, 1-2. We're right there. Week 4 at San Francisco, 4:00.
That's a loss.
That's a loss. Week 5 at home against Miami, 1:00.
We are home, but I think the Dolphins at this point, I had them on a roll. We're going to lose this one.
Yeah, I really want to give us a win there, but you're right. I'm pretty sure I remember their schedule. We'll look at it here in a little, but I think they're rolling through this. They've got a tough one, but they'll be rolling. All right, so 1-4. Week 6 against Houston at home, 1:00.
Drake May's debut, we win.
You know what? I'm right there with you. I don't even know if this is Drake May's debut. I think he might come in for the Miami game after we get absolutely beat the fuck down by the San Fran. But I think this is a trap game for Houston. I'm going to give it to the Pats too, at home. All right, so we both have us at 2-4 right now. Week 7 at home against Jacksonville, but this is in London. We're the home team designated. 9:30 a.m. start.
I think, again, even though Jacksonville or the soon-to-be London Monarchs or whatever you want to call them, because they probably either this is their first or second game there. I'd love to see if this is their first or second. But I'm going to say this is another win. We're on a streak.
This is their first, I think. I think we talked about this in the offseason. If this was their second game, I'd say we lose it. But with it being their first game in London too, I think this is a bad Trevor Lawrence week. I'll give us a win as well. So we're looking at 3-4. Week 8 against the Jets at home.
We turn this around. We know what they're doing. Gerard has a great defensive plan. We win.
So this is where we differ, I think, for the first time. Well, no, outside of Houston. I got a loss there. Well, no, I said we win Houston. Never mind.
So
week 9.
So you got where I am?
I have mine. You have yours?
I have my overall. Yeah. This should be 4-4.
Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you're right. You have 4-4. I'm not going. Okay. I'm not keeping per week what we're doing. I'm just keeping records.
I just want to make sure I get the right.
Yeah. So you're 3-5. So week 9 at Tennessee, 1:00.
I think we continue our role, and I think this will be a Will Levis letdown. We're gonna win.
Yeah, win there. Tennessee's bad. Chicago, week 10 at Chicago, 1:00.
I think, unfortunately, big hype with Drake and Caleb. but I think this will be a tight one, and I think a field goal win for Chicago.
Yep, I got a loss. Week 11 at home against the Rams, 1:00.
We're back at home. They have to travel East Coast. That's a win.
I got us for a loss. Week 12 at Miami, 1:00.
I think again that's a loss.
We never win in Miami. Week 13 at home against Indianapolis, 1:00.
That's a big win for us.
That's a win. That screams trap game. Then we got a bye week, week 14, very late. Week 15 at Arizona, 4:25, coming out of the bye.
That's a loss. Oh,
That's
no,
a
I'm
loss.
sorry. That's a win.
I was about to say, I have for a win too. Week 16 at Buffalo, 1:00.
That's a loss.
That is a loss. Week 17 at home against the Chargers, no time determined yet.
I think Harbaugh has his team rolling. That's going to be unfortunately a loss.
We're going to differ there. I don't know why, but I feel a win there. And last game of the season, week 18, against Buffalo at home.
That's another loss because the Bills are going to need it for a wild card.
100%. I'm right there with you. All right, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got 6 and 11 for the Pats. What do you have?
8 and 9.
8 and 9. Oh, so you did nail it. All right, Hanson, 8 and 9. Dad. All righty. Who you want to do next? Bills, Jets, Dolphins.
Let's do the Dolphins because that'll be very easy.
Yeah, let's roll through these two because I didn't realize what time it was. But we got to get through it.
Yeah.
All right. Dolphins schedule. Here we go. Week 1 at home against Jacksonville, 1:00.
Win.
Week 2 at home against Buffalo, 8:15 on Thursday night.
Win.
Yep, 2-0. Seattle, week 3, 4:05 clock.
Win.
3-0. At home against Tennessee, Monday Night Football, week 4.
That's another win.
That's a win. We already know what we said for week 5 against New England. We both said a loss for the Pats, so that's a win for the Dolphins. See, this will get a lot easier once we've gone through these. Indianapolis, week 7, after their bye, week 6. They're playing at Indy, 1:00.
That's another win.
You know what? I think I might give this one to Indy. I'm going to say this is the Dolphins' first loss. Arizona, week 8, at home.
That's another win.
They're going to crush that. At Buffalo, week 9, 1:00.
That is a loss for them.
You're right. I also think they take that one. Or Buffalo does. At the Rams, Monday night, 8:15 p.m., week 10.
That there is going to be a win.
I have them for a loss. Week 11, at home against the Raiders, 1:00.
That's a win.
Yep. Then we have New England. We both just said we'd lose that. Week 13 at Green Bay, Thursday Night Football, 8:20.
I think that's going to be a loss.
I also have them for a loss. Jets, week 14 at home, 1:00.
Win.
Yes, at home. I got them for a win. Houston, week 15 at Houston, 1:00.
You know what? I think this is going to be a trap game. They're going to lose this.
I have them winning that one. Week 16 at home against San Francisco.
That's going to be another loss.
That will be a loss. Damn, this is bad because I realized once we get to like San Fran, we're going to have them end up going like 17-0.
Yeah.
At Cleveland, week 17, Sunday Night Football, 8:20.
Win.
I got them losing that one. And then last game of the season at the Jets. Time TBD right now, but I bet that'll be like a primetime game.
That will be a win.
Yeah, did I have them winning the first one? I can't remember now. Yeah, I had them winning the one at home. I'll have them lose this one. I think they split with the Jets. I have Dolphins 11-6. What do you have them at?
13-4.
Jesus. You think they're going to be the shit this year?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the Bills. Quick. Week 1 at home against Arizona, 1:00.
Win.
Yep. At Miami, week 2, we just said.
Loss.
Did you say? Yeah. So we both said
no.
loss.
This one, oh yeah, this is a loss.
No, you said a loss there. At home against Jacksonville, 7:30 Monday night, week 3.
Win.
Yep. Ooh. Sorry, I'm mistyping here. At Baltimore, week 4, Sunday Night Football.
That's a loss.
Yep. At Houston, week 5, 1:00.
That's a win.
I have them for a loss. At the Jets, Monday Night Football, week 6.
That's a win.
I'm going to put them for a loss. Tennessee, week 7, at home.
Win.
At Seattle, week 8, 4:05.
Win.
Yep. Miami, at home. I have them for a win here. You had them for a loss?
Yep.
At Indianapolis, week 10.
Win.
At home against Kansas City, 4:25, week 11.
That'll be a loss.
I have that for a loss too. Bye week, week 12. Come out of it. At home against the 49ers, Sunday Night Football, week 13.
That's a loss.
I'm going to go sneaky win. At the Rams, week 14, 4:25 p.m.
Win.
At Detroit, week 15, 4:25 p.m.
I think when I was actually doing this originally, and hopefully people aren't counting this because I already put what their record was. I think I did this as a loss.
All right. I also have it as a loss. 16 against the Pats, we said loss. Week
no,
17.
I have this as a win.
Oh, you have that as a win? I have it as a loss. Oh, wait, no. Forget. Yeah, we're doing it for them. They win. I was thinking about it for the Pats. Week 17, at home against the Jets, 1:00.
That's a win.
I had them losing the first one. I think they split, so I think they take this. And then last week 18 against the Pats.
I said that's a win.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have the Bills going 11-6.
Me too.
So as of right now, you have the Jets, I think, winning the AFC East, or the Dolphins. And then,
Yes. Yep.
yeah, you had 11-6 for Bills. Okay, Jets, last one of the AFC East. Alrighty, week 1, Monday Night Football at San Francisco 49ers.
Loss.
I'm giving them a win. Tennessee, week 2, at Tennessee, 1:00.
I think I had them win.
Yep. Thursday Night Football against the Pats. We already did this one. I have a loss for us.
Yep.
At home against Denver, week 4.
That's a win.
Win. At home against Minnesota, this might be in London or neutral location. I don't know where this is, but it's 9:30.
I'm gonna have that, I think, as a loss.
I'll take them as a win. Buffalo, week 6. I had a win here for them. Monday Night Football.
I think I had a loss.
Okay. I hope this is keeping up. Yeah. Are you remembering?
All I know is that I already wrote down what I think they're going to be.
Okay. At Pittsburgh, week 7.
I think that's
Sunday
a
Night
win.
Football. This is a loss. At New England, week 8. That's a win.
I think I had a loss, but overall, I'm just got to get to my number.
Week 9 at home against Houston, Thursday Night Football.
I think I had them with a loss.
I will throw them on a win, actually. God, they're making the Jets so good. Arizona, week 10, at Arizona, 4:25.
I got a win.
Win. Week 11, at home against the Colts, Sunday Night Football.
I think I had, looking at what's remaining, that was a win.
Got you. I actually took mine back. I gave them a loss to the Texans because there's no way that the Jets are like 10-1 right now. Week 12, bye week. Week 13, at home against Seattle, 1 o'clock.
I think I had a win.
Win. Yep. Miami at Miami, week 14. I have them. I have them losing this one. I think.
Me too.
Yeah, because I had them splitting. At Jacksonville, week 15, 1 o'clock.
I think I actually took Jacksonville here.
Okay, I'm gonna have them with a win. At home against the Rams, week 16.
I think again I had a loss.
I have a loss. Week 17 at Buffalo.
That's a loss.
Yep, I have them losing. And then week 18 at home against Miami.
I had them losing.
I have them winning because I have them splitting. All right, so that puts the Jets at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 12-5 for me.
I had 7-10.
Wow. I also just know you hate the fucking Jets.
I just hate the fucking Jets.
You hate the Jets. That was probably expected. All right, there's the AFC East. Now let's go to NFC East.
Why don't we just go instead of week by week? We'll just give because of timing. Let's just give what we have because.
Well, I need to go through. I need to go through some of these and get them. But all right, go ahead for the Giants. Let me go through and do mine.
My Giants, I'm going 6-11. They'll be at the bottom.
Okay, you have 6-11. Let me look at this. We'll go here. You can hear my reasoning. Win, loss, win. 3-2. Then we go 3-3, 3-4, 3-5, 4-5, 5-5, bye week, 5-6, 5-7, 6-7, 6-8, 6-9. Wait, do they? Oh yeah, they do play Philly twice. 6-9, 6-10, 6-11. Yep. All right, well, that was easy. Let's go to the Eagles.
The Eagles?
The Eagles.
I'm saying 14-3.
I hate that you love them.
It's not
All
that
right.
I love them. I just think that their schedule and just again they're going to beat up on the Giants and the
teams.
Commanders. So
yeah. I've got. All right, so let me go through this. We'll go. Oh, this is the game that's in like Brazil, isn't it? They start out the year on Friday night. You know what? Loss. 0-1, 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, 4-2, 4-3, 5-3, 6-3, 7-3, 7-4, 7-5, 8-5, 9-5, 10-5, 11-5, 12-5. That was that. Damn, they're going to go on a run at the end of the year. It's going to be completely different from what they did last year. But yeah, I don't know. I had to find some losses in there at some point. I knew though, I think they're going to lose to both Cincinnati and Cleveland. And I think it's funny because Dino's going to both those games, and he's an Eagles fan because they're close. And I think they're going to lose both. All right, Cowboys.
I said 11-6.
11-6. All right, let's go. 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 4-2, 4-3, 5-3, 5-4. Ooh, 5-5, 6-5, 7-5, 8-5, 9-5, 9-6, 10-6, 11-6. Damn, nailed that one. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, and then the last one, the Commanders.
With the
Washington
Commanders,
football team.
The Washington football team, I actually said sneaky 8-9.
8-9. You know what? I don't think you're that far off. I have yet to look at the schedule, but holy shit, did Jaden Daniels look good this week? All right, we're gonna go 0-1. Did I say I said they were going to lose to the Giants week 2. 0-2, 0-3, 1-3, 1-4, 1-5. God, they've got a gauntlet here to start, Loki. 2-5, 3-5. No. Yeah, 3-5, 4-5, 4-6, 4-7, 4-8, 5-8. Ooh, low key. 6-8. They beat New Orleans. 6-9. 6-10. 6-11. No, I'll say they'll beat Atlanta too. I'll have them 7-10. I could see it. I could see it.
Yeah, and I think where we differ, and it seems as if you're giving Pittsburgh some tremendous love right now. I think that Steelers-Commanders game, I think they'll win. I think something will occur.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm giving the Steelers so much credit. I just think it's the Steelers, and they're just tough. I really hope that we can remember who we have for some of these, because by the time we get to week 4, we're gonna have gone through every game already. We just have to remember who we said was gonna win them and not. But we'll go through it here for the listeners. We have Patriots. I have them at 6-11. Dad has them at 8-9. Dolphins. I have them at 11-6. Dad has them 13-4. Bills. We both have them 11-6. Jets. I have 12-5. Dad has 7-10. Giants. We both have them 6-11. Eagles, I have them 12-5. Dad has them 14-3. We have 11-6 both for the Cowboys. Then I've got the Commanders 7-10. Dad's got them 8-9. That wraps up our first week of going through these divisions. I was gonna say let's do this crossword trivia thing, man, but it's just gonna take forever. So I might just hold this or I'll find another one for next week when we do different divisions. Because this one's just like AFC East stuff.
All right. I mean, it would be great. It would be great if we do trivia per.
It would, but this one, I can't find another AFC East one, and this one's going to take like 15 minutes.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So, all right. No trivia this week. We'll manage our time better next week. We didn't realize. Now we know how long these go for, though. So,
well, I think,
or at least we'll go through. I'll just have my records for next week. We won't.
Yeah, I think probably more people are going to be more interested in the AFC divisions, and potentially where if somehow we get to a winning record, if we can make a wild card, or at least, which will be fun to see us in the hunt this year.
See us in that graphic.
Yeah. So, and I think just the NFC would just go through and.
Okay. I like that. Then I'll bring my records for next week for NFC, and then we'll kind of go through it for AFC like we did.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good plan.
Awesome.
All right, Dad. You got anything to say to the listeners here before I close this out?
No, I mean, let's just get behind our Red Sox guys. We need a winning record this week. Let's get behind them. Let's cheer them on.
Also, that crowd at Fenway has been pathetic for the Sox. For a team that is still in the playoff hunt, technically, I'd be at the games myself if it wasn't fucking 18 hours away. So let's get some ass in seats. All right, let's start cheering on the Sox. The Olympics are done. All right, you can go back to watching baseball now. So, but that'll be it. That'll conclude episode 32 of A New Era podcast. We thank you guys so much for listening once again. If you'd like to get in contact with us, at A New Era Podcast on Instagram, on Twitter, A New Era Podcast on Facebook, and A New Era Podcast at gmail.com. If you would like to email us any questions, concerns, or funny business, jokes would be really awesome to see. That'd be pretty funny if we could have a little joke segment provided by the listeners. But
it would have to be, well, try and make it a sport joke.
Yeah, sport jokes. But they're just going to be a bunch of bad dad jokes like you would bring on here.
Yeah. Well, jock strap kind of jokes. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We'll catch you guys next week for episode 33. Go USA and go Sox.
Love you, son.
Love you, Dad.